Project Zero, Generation Zero. I've been doing cardiovascular research for almost 40 years. That shows you how old I am. And we have made great progress, and we've learned a great deal. Every one of us is born with a genotype, okay? And it is today science fiction to say that we can in vivo change your genotype. That genotype is reflected in something we call in medicine your phenotype, how you manifest the genetics you're born with through what you do, your lifestyle, your environment. And Project Zero and Generation Zero is about finally addressing the fact that of all the heart disease and all the strokes, the majority of them could be prevented. And what we have to do is we have to address, we've gotten really good at treating acute heart problems. We can reverse strokes using blood clot busters in the brain. But what we now know, and I've spent my life working on those acute treatments and the acute diagnoses, is that we have to make the next great leap. To realize the audacious goal of Project Zero, we've got to address the prevention of heart disease, the prevention of heart attacks and strokes. And that's what that's all about. And, you know, I live my life, I'm a taker of blood pressure medicine, as is other family members of ours. You cannot change your lifestyle. You cannot prevent the ravages of heart disease unless you know what your risk factors are. Blood pressure is a critical risk factor. Hypertension, 1/3 of all the people in the developed world have hypertension. Well, if you don't measure it, you can't address it. You can't change it. So blood pressure, and we see the evolution in Omron's technologies from the cuffs, and they were the earliest developer of home blood pressure monitoring. And what we learned? We learned that when I take a blood pressure in the office, you might well have white coat syndrome. And that the blood pressures you take at home at various times of the day, whether you take medicine or not, may not be reflected by that one measurement in the office. And so home blood pressure today is universally recommended by doctors for their patients with hypertension. And for those people who potentially develop hypertension, who have a family history. Same thing with cholesterol. You know, getting one measurement a year will not enable us to treat it. We've got medicines and statins that are magnificent. We have diet, we have exercise. All of these things require us to change our lifestyle and to monitor our progress. You know, people wear Fitbits, and then about half of them after 3 to 4 months stop wearing them. We've got, you know, changing your lifestyle is not a 1 month or 1 year process. And so we must make these technologies consumer friendly, motivational, and I became very optimistic this year. Anybody here heard of Pokemon Go? I had all my kids, and I got 5 kids ages 17 to 30, including a doctor, a nurse. And Pokemon Go captured imaginations and got people to move. Now, yeah, it's dropped off. But what did it prove? It proved that we could motivate people to get off their butts. And that is a critical part of achieving Project Zero, okay? Activity, diet, following your doctor's prescriptions, taking your medications. All of these are critically important. And then we come to the things that we're proud at AliveCor to partner with Omron because, you know, today we still have to take care of the people who have disease, okay, who are hypertensive, who have heart disease. And AliveCor, like Omron, we're a medical device. You can walk around this hall and you'll see a lot of fitness devices and a lot of, I call them consumer wellness devices. But these are medical devices that have been FDA cleared and that are aimed at helping us achieve Project Zero. At the same time, we motivate a new generation, like my kids, Generation Zero, to eat better, to stay active, to make sure they track and address all their potential risk factors and move the phenotype. So while Project Zero is audacious, it's not science fiction. And I think, again, we look at this opportunity like we look at our partnership with OMRON as a way to move out of the office, out of the hospital, and deliver care and deliver prevention where people live. You know, you don't call a cab anymore. We're a new generation. I bet every one in this hall has a smartphone. And this is the remote control for our lives. And this will become our personal healthcare portal. We're just in the beginning of that process. And I think, with partnerships like OMRON and AliveCor, we'll be bringing the technology that only existed in hospitals and doctors' offices, democratizing it, like my friend Dr. Topol says, and really generating much better outcomes from that democratization, from that consumerization. Each one of you needs to be the CEO of your own life. You need to be the CEO of your own health. And we at AliveCor and we at OMRON Healthcare want to be your partner in realizing the best you. Thank you. Any questions? I do consults, but you got to have a credit card. Yes, sir.
What is the partnership between AliveCor and OMRON? What are you partnering on?
Well, this is a partnership that's been ongoing, and I'm highly confident that it continues to grow. And it's the notion of bringing true medical technology, whether it's an electrocardiogram or a blood pressure monitor, directly to consumers. Bill Gates long ago said frictionless capitalism. Okay, well that's what we're trying to do. So you don't need a prescription, but you're able to get the information, critical medical grade FDA cleared information, to your physician to enable him or her to better manage your care, to help motivate you and make sure you're on the right path, whether it's the right blood pressure medicine or the right antiarrhythmic medicine, to make sure that you're your best you. Yes, sir.
Since you started your company in your presence, you try to assess the benefits of self-measurement by patient, which scale. When you gather enough data to really say that you can improve quality and as well as benefit in the long term by a factor of 3, 4, 5.
Well, first of all, hypertension has always been called the silent killer. Heart disease, hypertension is a major risk factor for stroke and heart disease. And those problems develop over decades. So any solution, any way we address it, has to be a lifestyle change that you implement over your entire, however long, rest of your life. And I can tell you, at AliveCor, we have, OMRON has millions of customers. We have tens of thousands of customers who every day use our technology to monitor their rhythm. And most of our customers, the majority of them are patients. The average age of an AliveCor customer, you got a smartphone, you got to download an app, 61 years old. We need to move that to younger and younger age so that those people prevent as opposed to simply treat. And that's the goal of all of this. We won't get to Project Zero or even approach it until we implement prevention at a global scale. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Well, we sell it today in Hong Kong. And we have doctors in China using it. We're not CFDA cleared yet. So we have doctors in Shanghai and Beijing who are using our device in research studies. But we don't have plans today for selling in mainland China, although we are in Hong Kong, which is China, but has slightly different regulatory requirements. that it? Thank you very much.